Hello everyone, my name is Alex and I am a multidisciplinary artist based in Montreal from Venezuela. Today's video is about El Rap de Mulán, Mulan's rap, my first song ever written lyrically. And I'm super excited today to dive into a little bit of the process, the inspiration, and the meaning behind the song. Because it's in Spanish, I also created for the first time a video in Spanish to explain it. And I would like to take the time to personally and live translate it for you and explain to you a little bit, or just share with you a little bit more in what I meant behind. I feel sometimes in music we don't take, sometimes we do things not very intentionally, and that's great and that's fine. This one wasn't, you're gonna see. but I think it's the type of song that deserves to have a little moment and understand the words and the meaning and the lyrics behind, because they're very intentionally meant to help you. So here we go. I wanted to also say that this video is going to have a few different parts, so if you want to skip to a specific part, you feel free to do so. So the first one is just to explain to you what the rap is. The second part is to speak to a little bit about Mulan and the inspiration behind the connection with Mulan. I also want to speak to you a little bit about the process and how I got the idea of writing the song, and then finally dive into the lyrics and the meaning of the song with you. So the first part, which is what is Mulan's rap. As I mentioned, it's my first song ever written lyrically. I have produced some music in the past. I'm also a DJ. I've worked in different areas of music, but this is a special one because it's the first rap I ever wrote. It's also a special song because I got to present it for the first time at Jacob Collier's Music Hideaway. If you want more information about what that retreat was, there's a video about it on my channel. I also have a little bit of notes here just in case, because there's a little bit of content in case I forgot anything. And I also wanted to say that right now, if you ask where am I am in guess. I am in Montreal. I'm at the Botanical Gardens, and there's actually a Chinese garden here, that is very beautiful, and I thought it would be perfectly themed for the occasion. But actually, in resonance with the story of Mulan, I thought that actually being here surrounded by rocks and a more like alpine and look, and the flowers blooming around remind me of like the cherry blossoms, and also kind of that arid vibes and the solitary journey I feel that she probably went through. I think this is the right place to record this. So all this to say, that's what Mulan's rap is. Now, why Mulan? Where does this come from? The first time I ever heard of, well, if you don't know who Mulan is or what Mulan is a character in a story that actually comes from a story, that's a poem that's called The Ballad of Mulan. It's a Chinese poem that was based apparently on a folkloric song that was written many years ago, around the 5th or 6th century, which means about 1,500 years ago, which is a long time ago. So inspired by this legend or this poem, I imagine there were I know at least of a couple of movies that were made. The one that most influenced me was the Disney version in the 90s, I believe, or 2000, I don't remember. I was about maybe like 7, 8 when I watched it for the first time at the movies, I remember. So it's a movie that had a really big impact on me, and I never really stopped to analyze it or think about it until probably I made this video. There's a lot of different aspects. Sorry, to go back again to who is Mulan, what is Mulan? This poem talks about a young woman that doesn't fit into the norm of what tradition and her culture and society kind of expects of her, and her role as a woman in that society, and being fit to marry and bring honor to the family. And at the same time, the story is happening during war in China, and because she is the only daughter, and there are no sons in the family, the father is asked to go to war, even though he's older and has already participated in war and was wounded. So Mulan, to protect her father, decides to kind of disguise as a man and replace his father in war, so that he doesn't have to go, basically. Obviously, this is all done at night without no one knowing. So anyway, if you didn't know the story, that's kind of the story, and it's a story about bravery and tradition and culture and love, and it takes such a different shape than many of the other Disney movies I was kind of acquainted up to that point. It was nice to have like a strong character and a strong woman character as reference, I think, growing up. It was also just an excellent movie. Like the characters, the sidekicks, probably the best. Mushu, the cricket, and the horse. I loved the trio. I also so that's the story, and there's different elements from the story that I really identified with, right? I also really, just as an artist, I'm very much like influenced, inspired by different cultures, folklore, traditions. I have lived and grown up in different countries as well, which I think has influenced me a lot, and which is why I just love that aspect of that movie as well. So there's that aspect, and also just to watch her transformation and her get through so many different challenges, I think is also a theme in my life. Maybe it was a little foreshadowing of my own life without even realizing. But she always finds the strength to keep going and to achieve what she wanted to achieve. So very much relate to her character. And also, she still finds love in that, you know. It's like, and it's not like the main theme, but it's still there. And I have to say, he is the hottest prince character man of all the Disney movies. I think so. So she gets it all, you know, in the end. So that's kind of the story of Mulan, and the influence and the love that I have for that story. And even as an adult, and the music I absolutely love as well. Even as an adult, I still listen to the music and I get inspired. That one, the Be a Man, I think it's called, when they're, you know, like, yeah, training, and finally she gets up there. Yes. I also love the one, I think it's called Honor to Us All. Na 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 na. And another one I really love is True to Your Heart. It's the one in the credits, but it's with Stevie Wonder. Super funky, and also just beautiful lyrics. True to your heart, you must be true to your heart. Anyway, there you go, a little throwback. So yeah, that's the story behind this impactful piece of childhood that really influenced this creation. How did I write this song? What was the process behind this? Good question. I want to kind of start by saying that I got into improvisation in general maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago. A little bit of theater, and then mostly rap and musical improvisation, but I wanted like lyrical improvisation. I met a community that's called cypherology here, and they're a hip-hop community that gathers while it's warm outside, gathers once a week in a park, and we go on ciphers. What is a cipher? If you don't know, it's basically circle of improvisation of rap. Sometimes it's freestyle, like free form. Sometimes it's more like battle structure. So you're kind of like dueling with someone else or like exchanging with someone else. And then there's also dance, specifically break dance ciphers of improvising, together. And break dance is also an important part of the hip hop culture. And this specific community, I also felt embraced because they were just super open and loving. But I also was able to improvise in Spanish. A lot of them are Hispanophones or Spanish speakers. And it's a little bit harder to improvise, at least for me, in a language that's not my native language, because there's already so many elements, not that you have to think of, but probably your brain has to process, like rhythm, entering in, in the beat, a story probably that you're telling, and rhyming as well, and a short amount of time passing. So to add to that a language that doesn't come as naturally or as quickly is another challenge. I can definitely do it, or try to do it, but it was nice to be understood and surrounded by people that would encourage you to express yourself in your first language. And we have all the time people from different cultures coming in. Like we've had people express themselves in Japanese, French, English, Spanish, probably other languages as well. So I love this community, and all this to say that I've been practicing freestyling and improvising for a little while now, and it's really helped me. I wanted to get into it because I wanted to kind of break the cycle of perfectionism and face some insecurities that I had, and I'm still working through, like being judged. It's really hard to like really throw yourself there and out there and not think about like, oh my god, what are people gonna think of what I'm saying, but eventually it's so fun, and it's so funny too, because you don't know what's gonna come out and you don't know what other people are gonna say, and it's just such a great way to connect with others, have fun, have a good time, and sometimes surprise yourself with the deep things that can come out. And there was something else I wanted to say about improvisation, but I think that's what comes to mind at the moment. I really recommend it, and you can definitely work at it. Trust me, it's not like you're good or not. Like, you can definitely work at it. I thought I couldn't do it. Definitely can do it. I'm going on a tangent, but all this to say that this is something that has become more and more part of my daily life. Sometimes I wake up and I'm already improvising some lyrics. Sometimes I'm in the shower and it's happening. Sometimes I'm in the metro and it's happening. So going back to the song, I was having and coming back from just a rough day at work, feeling a little bit stuck in life in some areas, where I feel it's just been like the same old story over and over again, and I just plateau every time I try something new, or a new route, or I don't try and I just am like whatever anyone has suggested me to do, I just plateau. And I was just feeling super tired at that point, and specifically around my finances and my romantic life. It just always has seemed like I can't get past a certain threshold, So the image of Mulan and kind of like a warrior, I was like, man, I've been thrown like so many different challenges and so many different, I think the first like image I had was like thorns, but it kind of became like swords. Yeah, just like a bunch of thorns and swords like thrown at me, and every time I get them out, it just keeps happening, so that kind of like that sentence and that image like came into my mind, and as I was getting into the metro, I started playing around with that sentence, and in trying to also help me feel better and like get out that frustration, I started improvising in my mind in the metro. And from the moment I got into the metro to the moment I got like up the stairs to my home, the song was already written. All through improvisation. It just came so naturally, and I kind of let it marinate and just like rest, and I was waiting for the right moment to share it with other people. And I specifically, because, I feel like a lot of songs today, there's like traditional ways of getting them out. I wasn't waiting to like record it and have like, like a beat on it or anything. I really wanted to share it organically, like it came to me. And as I've been, like connecting more and more with communities, and like just the feeling, and not the feeling, but the surroundings that improvisation has, which is very much about like going with the flow and organic build-up. I wanted to share it with a group. So I just let it simmer there. And August 2025 came, and I went to Jacob Collier's retreat, and it really felt like the right moment to share the song for the first time with anyone. And also to have it like, to let it come to life through the help and participation and improvisation of other people with this song. So it was a very special moment because it was the first song ever written that I shared, and that really came to life in such an amazing way with so many different people. And it was the right context as well. Like, it was a very loving and supporting group. I knew I was going to be held, and it's exactly what happened. So actually, if you want to check it out, it's on my channel already. It's called El Rap de Mulán, Mulan's Rap, and you can see, how it turned out. It was super exciting. And I also want to let you know that the only presentation I've done of it, which was at the retreat, the first part is what I wrote. It's the Mulan part, but the second part is improvised. It's improvised lyrics and then also improvised music with other musicians. So I hope you enjoy that part. And then finally, I kind of want to dive into the lyrics of it. So just to share a little bit what it means and the intentions behind it, basically. So I think I'm just gonna go like bit by bit and translate. Maybe it's gonna be a good way for you to practice Spanish or learn Spanish. So let's go, let's dive. Hola, ¿qué tal? Me llamo Mulan. Hello, what's up? How are you? My name is Mulan. Desde el comienzo, yo tengo un plan. Since the beginning, I have a plan. Sangre de guerrera, blood of a warrior, camino con fe, I walk in faith. Porque de las 1000 espadas clavadas, yo las 1000 me las saqué. This one I translated before because it's a little hard. Because out of the 1,000 swords that pierced me, I pulled the 1,000 out myself. Las 1000 me saqué. Y me las seguiré desclavando. En esto soy un pez nadando. And I will continue pulling them out. In this game, I am a fish swimming in the sea. It's easy for me. Me tiras, volveré a crecer. You strike me, I will grow back again. Me matas, volveré a nacer. You kill me, I will be born again, or I will be reborn. De morir no tengo miedo. I am not afraid of dying. Miedo tengo de no morir. Miedo tengo de no vivir. I am afraid of not living. Mientras estoy aquí, ya basta, ya no hay nada que discutir. While I'm still here, that's enough. There's no more to discuss. No more substance to discuss. No me vas a convencer. You're not going to convince me. No me vas a asustar. You're not going to scare me. Prefiero vivir plenamente. I would rather live fully que vivir en mi ocultar than live in... I also translated this one. Than to live in the shadow. I would rather live fully than to live in the shadow. Ya yo no me callo. Ya no me calla nadie. I will no longer silence myself. I will no longer be silenced by others. No me calla nadie. Así esté en mi cuarto o esté en la calle. Even if I'm in my room or in the streets, yo seguiré mi jornada, sea fácil o enredada. I will continue on my journey, be it hard or tangled. Pero con mi corazón de león, a mí no me para nada. But with my lion's heart, nothing stops me. Yo soy valiente, el poder está en mi mente. Yo soy valiente, vivo mi vida plenamente. I am brave. The power is in my mind. I am brave. I live my life fully. So the intention of this song is really to speak about resilience, and no matter how many swords, you've received, how many strikes you've received, how many times you've fallen, you will always rise up again. And also the power's in your mind. Like, there's so many, I would say it's like a big percentage is in your mind. Also wanted to mention that the part where I say, like, you're not going to convince me, you're not going to scare me, I imagine speaking more to like my own fears, or not necessarily my ego, but just whatever scares me. Like, I would rather live fully and openly and try things and take risks than live in fear and hidden in the shadows. And it really connects to a video that I made recently about, like, one of the echoes or the ripples of this retreat was like speaking about the heart as a flower that Gina Chick, talked about. The video was about how to love and how to move through life open even though you have lived a lot of pain. And I feel like when you have lived and gone through a lot of pain, have gone through so many things, it's easy, or it's understandable that you kind of want to hide and want to avoid feeling that way again. And you may have a shell around you that protects you or is very like cautious about every decision you make. But ultimately, I think it's very important to keep being brave and keep opting, obviously, to like listen to your heart and don't, it's not about being reckless, but it's about every time choosing to live fully and not in fear, because this life, like, it's gonna end, like we all know where it's going. So I'm a big supporter of living my life to its full potential. And that means taking risks. And that means probably like living lots of pain and loss. But that's the thing, because I have lived already so much pain and loss, sometimes because I take risks, but sometimes also because I don't. Like, it happens to me. It's like, well, I might as well, take the risk and have great moments and have deep moments. So that's what this song is about. Just keep being brave, like Mulan. Let's go. I hope you liked this video, and yeah, that's all for now. Let me know what you think. It's made from the heart, and it's really a song to inspire others and to work as a reminder and almost an affirmation that you're braver than you think, and you have the strength within you to go through any difficulty that you're going through, and to, after you go through that, you get over that difficulty, to keep your heart open and your joy alive and your energy alive, because there's a reason why you're alive today, and it's to live. So there we go. Have a great day, my friends, and we'll be in touch for the next video. Bye.